There were 17 girls in the sorority house that night. The last night before the last final of the year. Every single girl claimed they were attacked by a man with a knife at exactly 3:35 a.m. They all had injuries, and some were serious, but not a single girl could describe the man who did it. I was a student at the university when it happened, and I'd always been fascinated by what we called the Beta incident. When the school offered me a job teaching a summer writing class, I took it. And I requested to live in the Beta house since it would be empty for the summer. The administration at the school called the whole thing a sorority prank to avoid bad press. I didn't buy that for a minute. 17 college girls slicing open their own bodies? For what, a joke? No way. There was something else going on in that house. After what happened that night, the sorority installed a security system. There were cameras in almost every room and all along the outside of the house. No one could get in or out without being seen.
You'll pretty much find all the school's history right in here.
My summer class wasn't starting for another week, so I took advantage and spent that time doing research on the history of the sorority.
I'm actually looking for a little more recent history, like 1997.
Huh. Well, let me see what I can find.
I looked through every yearbook between 1990 and 1997. And finally, I found something interesting.
Gathering to celebrate the life of a lost sister. A sophomore majoring in political science was found dead in her room the afternoon of Saturday, March 5th.
The article in the yearbook said she died by overdosing on diet pills. But that didn't explain anything about what happened on June 1st of that year. I fell asleep on the couch and woke up on the basement floor with no memory of how I got there. And that crazy dream, I had no idea what that was about.
So, were you a beta?
Just curious about their story, I guess, and the house. You know, with what happened there.
Well, that's the oldest building near campus by a good stretch. In fact, it used to be the only house in the whole neighborhood. It was one big piece of land, thousands of acres. It's amazing how things change.
He didn't give me much more information than that. It actually seemed like he was trying to dodge the subject every time I brought it up. Just like the university administration. I looked at all the footage. The cameras didn't catch anything. I would be the first person to be in the house on June 1st since the attack in 1997. To be honest, I was alone and terrified.
Half an hour.
Almost 2 hours had passed, and again, I had no idea what happened. The chains, the burning man, and then this horrible bruising on my throat. I had to figure out what was going on. I checked the security cameras to see what they captured. To this day, part of me wishes I never looked. I tried to hang myself in my sleep at 3:35 a.m. The exact date and time the sorority was attacked 17 years earlier.
If I knew you were staying there, I would have begged you to leave. But the last time I made a fuss, I nearly lost my job.
Why?
Well, the school wanted to label it a prank so they could move on, because the only other explanation was something that most people don't even want to consider.
You said the house used to be surrounded by land.
Well, not just land, crops.
It was a plantation.
Thomas was the son of a plantation owner. You dig around the archives, you'll find old songs from this region that you'd swear are about the devil. But they're not. They're about him.
Who's there?
Thomas killed and tortured a lot of slaves in that basement. Even burned one alive. On June 1st, 1857, a group of slaves dragged Thomas down to his little chamber of horror. They cut that devil into slivers with some kitchen knives. The knives didn't kill him, so they had to hang him.
When he told me the story about Thomas, everything started to match up with what I'd been experiencing. He burned a slave alive. The torture chamber in the basement. And then finally, he was hanged himself. It was all him, this plantation owner's son, coming back to terrorize the place on the same night he was killed there. I went back that same day and wrote down everything I learned about that house. I sent a letter to the school board and to every woman attacked on that night. No surprise, the school never responded. I heard back from most of the girls who were attacked that night. Some were freaked out. A few begged me to just drop it. But most were grateful that someone believed it wasn't just a prank and took the time to find the truth. I guess I felt I had to. I couldn't go the rest of my life not knowing what happened that night. I was one of those 17 girls, and I couldn't rest until I proved it was real.